So, about Grimnir and Grimnismal and what this poem means. So, this is Grim. That's my family name, it is Grim. And I'm telling you now about Grimnir and Grimnismal and the actual meaning of it, what it represents. I'm here with my dogs, sitting on a fallen tree here in the forest. In Saxon, in Upper Saxony, although I am a Low Saxon. Alright, so I'm reading from this book here. It's not the best book, but hey, it's decent. It has some words that normally you would have to look up and translate yourself. It translates them for you. So that's why I like this book. Alright, so most of you have probably read it before. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to make some highlights and point out some things so that you understand what the actual meaning of this is. Because most people do not. If you read it at face value, you will not understand Grimnismal and what the point of it is. The entire point of this saga, or poem, or whatever you want to call it, is all about the things that you want to do in life, the things that your soul wants to experience in this particular lifetime of yours. The things you chose in Helheim that you really wanted to experience, and that is the reasons why you incarnated again. It is about being caught between them and different things like that, and how out of alignment you do not go after the things that you want to accomplish in this life. Now, when you just read this at normal intellectual mind thinking, and you do not understand what most of these names mean and the words mean and what the symbolism of what things represent in mythology, because certain things always represent certain things in mythology, but if you do not know this, you will never understand what the mythology is talking about in the symbolism. So King Geirrod, his name means spear, and then, you know, he names his son Egnar after his brother, who he was kind of not so good to. He kind of pushed his brother on the boat off into the sea or whatever, and then that's how he became king, by kind of screwing over his brother. But anyway, he names his son Egnar after his brother. And so Grimnir comes to prove to Frigga that, oh, his stepson is not an asshole and all this, because Frigga says, oh, he's so stingy and rude to his guests. So Woden goes disguised, Grimnir, right? It means to be disguised, the hooded one. So Woden goes all disguised in a big hood and that, and shows up, and of course, you know, Frigga sends her, who is it, Fulla or so? I can't remember, but she sends one of her maidens, yeah, Fulla, sends her maiden Fulla to go tell Geirrod ahead of time that there is an evil sorcerer coming and all this and that. So she kind of sets up Woden to get in this bad situation just to prove herself right. So Woden shows up as Grimnir, and then of course this guy puts him between two fires, and then his son Egnar comes and brings him a horn filled with mead. And mead always represents life force energy, okay? Life energy. That is what it represents always in mythology. The nectar of the mind, of the moon. That is what mead is. So he drinks the horn, and then he spoke. Alright, so I'll start reading a little bit, and then I'll explain what I'm reading. Hot are you, fire and all too strong. Father, may we part, flame, the pelting linings chars. Though I draw the skirts up, the coat starts to burn. 8 nights I sat between fires here, with none to bring me food. Egnar only, who alone shall rule, Geirrod's son, in the land of the Goths. Hail thee, Egnar, in all things veretier. Bid you be fortune, for by one drink shall you never receive greater recompense, or recompense. I don't know, some fucking English word I don't understand, but it means greater reward. I know what it means, but I don't know how to fucking say it. Okay, so what is this representing? You got Grimnir, Woden. That is your higher self, your fury of awareness of yourself. he is caught between two fires. The fires are getting closer and closer to burning him up. The fire represents your desires of the soul. So your self-awareness is caught between two desires of the soul. And what comes? Agnar, terror, fear comes and brings him a drink of life energy. Okay? So, and then after that, you know, hail you, Agnar, hail you, fear, and all that. But it's talking about here, this is trying to tell you in code to be fearless. You have to face your fears to go after your desires of your soul, which is why our ancestors were all about living fearlessly. That is what it was all about. So your higher awareness wants you to face your fears. When you're in your higher awareness, you will face your fears, Woden, and then you can go after your soul desires. And the way to do that is with life energy. You get the drink of life energy when you face your fears with the life energy, and then you can go after your soul desires. So then I'll skip a little bit here, because a lot of this stuff, you know, I don't need to read it all, and I have limited time for how much I can post on YouTube. So, deep river is forth, thence cool waves surge. There Odin and Saga forever quaff out golden goblets. So, this is telling you to always, Saga, or Odin is your self-awareness, Saga is like the sagas themselves, the actual poetry, mead poetry, whatever you want to call it. This is all talking about learning the history of your folk, reading the sagas, understanding them, and how this will help your unconscious mind and subconscious mind and your conscious mind be in alignment. So it is always good to keep up with mythology reading. That is what that is talking about, and knowing about the history of your folk and family. So then, hidden in the thickest of tall reeds is the wide land of Vidar. There shall my son dismount to avenge his father. Adamir lets Sedamir be steeped in Eldamir, the best of meat. Few know what Einherjers eat. Gira and Freka are nurtured by battle-wont father of host, but in wine alone lives ever Odin, the weapon adorned. So, hidden in the thickest ruins, that is Vidar. Vidar means open mind. He's the opener of your mind. He's the son of your self-awareness. So, hidden in the thickest reeds, when your mind is closed, then comes the opener to open your mind. And then Edamir means the eagle. It is the cook of Valhalla. The eagle is the highest awareness. And then he brings you Eldamir, which is the elements. And that is boar's meat, pork. So, but it is the elements, and that is what the Einherjers eat in Valhalla. Your highest awareness is in Valhalla. Your life dreams are in Valhalla, you know, the place where people want to go, right? So, your highest awareness, you work with it with the elements, this is telling you. And then Gira and Freka are nurtured by battle-wont, you know, All-Father Woden, but only he lives on wine alone forever. So Odin lives on mead. That was the wine of the Norse. He lives on the nectar of the mind, life energy. That is what Woden, self-awareness, lives on, the nectar of the mind. Okay, so Hugin und Munin fly each day over the battlefield earth. I am anxious for Hugin that he returns not, but I fear more for Munin. So Hugin means thought, the intellect. Munin means memory or the mind. So All-Father Woden fears more for memory, for the mind. He is more concerned about the mind than the intellect. Thud howls and Tidvortinia's fish plays in the stream. The flowing river seems all too big for the celebrants to ford. So Thund is the river of fire around Valhalla. And then Tjodvinir, he's fishing. That is Fenris, the wolf, and that is your ego, okay? So your ego is fishing for men, it says, in the stream of fire around Valhalla. So, and then Okay, the flowing river seems all too big for the priest to cross, the celebrants to ford, which means for the priest to cross. The gate of choice in the wall holy, before holy doors, fine is the gate, but few know how it is locked. So this is talking about if you want to go after, you want to get into Valhalla. Valhalla represents your desires of the soul, where you get to feel and experience all the joys that your soul wants to experience. Few know how it is locked. So that means only few people actually figure out how to, you know, unlock what their soul wants to do and experience. 500 floors and 40 more are there in bulging Bilskinia. Of all the roof halls, it seems to me the largest is my son's. The largest is my son's, yes. So this is talking about Thunar, because he is the EMF, the electromagnetic force. He surrounds everything, so he is the largest. And his sons, and Blitzen is what Bilskinia means, lightning, life energy, the electromagnetic force. And he surrounds all atoms and life energy. He is around it all. And that is why his hall is the largest, because it surrounds absolutely everything. The reason why my fingers cannot go through each other, because normally, you know, this is just a bunch of atoms, little balls of atoms. But the reason they cannot go through each other is because of the electromagnetic force. That is Thunar. He surrounds all life energy. All right, 500 doors and 40 more. I know there are to Valhalla. 800 Einherjars emerge at once from each when they go to bear witness. Okay, so this again, this is to do with the cycles, like what they call the yugas in the Vedic, Indo-European and stuff. If you do 540 times 800 is 432,000, and that is the cycle, the time cycles are, right? And it's all got to do with the yugas and how many years they are, and that is why there are so many doors and this and that. Anyway, Hydran is the goat of Hostfather's hall. Okay, that means sacrificial meat. That is the goat's name, is sacrificial meat. That nibbles Stegavir's brots. She fills the cup of creation with fine mead full of drink that never runs dry. So this goat, its name is life energy. It means sacrificial mead, because you sacrifice goats, and then it never runs dry. It gives you the nectar of the mind, and it never runs out when you're in your highest awareness. Okay, now Rostock is the squirrel that runs in Yggdrasil's ash. The words of eagle in the crown he bears to the gnawer below. So this is the squirrel that goes up from the top to the bottom. This is talking about from your higher self, where the eagle is, right, to the gnawer at the bottom of Yggdrasil, which is your lower self, the communication, higher self to lower self. There are more serpents neath Yggdrasil than an unwise ape can imagine. Goin, Moin, the sun's grave witness, the dragon, gazeback, ghost, the opener and closer, which I believe tear the tree's twigs. So this is talking about the open mind, closed mind. All this is what it's representing, and the inner conflict humans have when they're going after the soul desires. You know, I want to do this, but maybe I should do this and play it safe, and I'll work at this job, because if I really go after what I want, it's a big risk, and I want to do it, but I don't want to take the risk. This is what this is talking about, inner conflict. When you're not being fearless, when you don't take the risk that you should take. Yggdrasil's ash must endure more than humans can know. So this is talking about the inner conflict, because Yggdrasil is the way you communicate with the three minds in the gods and the different realms, right? So it's talking about inner conflict, and that's why it endures more than you know, because every time you're having inner conflict, Yggdrasil is enduring this. Okay. Skull is the wolf that pursues the shining god. So that means mockery is skull. The shining god is the mind, moon, mani. So Mockery pursues the mind. To the sheltering woods, other Hati, son of Rodvinia, hate is what Hati means, red skies is Rodvinia, proceeds the heaven's bride, Suna, the sun. So hate goes after the sun, mockery goes after the mind. From Ymir, which means life, energy, atoms, matter, what everything is manifested from. From Ymir's flesh was the earth formed, billowing seas of his blood, from his bones the mountains, bushes from his hair, and from his brain heaven. With his eyebrows beneficent powers enclosed Midgard for the son of men. But from his brain we surely created all dark skies. This means when you're stuck in your intellect, the brain is the intellect, not the mind. When you're stuck in your intellect, you can make yourself miserable. Dark skies. The blessing of Ul and all the gods is who first touches the fire. So that means the blessing of all the gods is who first touches his soul desire, first goes after it. For worlds are opened around sons of the Aesir when cauldrons are heavened from the hearth. The hearth is the base of the fireplace, the base of your soul desire. Okay? That's what it's talking about. The ash, Yggdrasil, is noblest of trees. That is your connection, your way to connect with your three minds and the worlds and the gods. Skidbalnir of ships. Again, connection. It's made of wood, life energy. And it is also a ship, which is for connecting, right? Odin of Aesir, your fury of self-awareness. Your self-awareness. And Sleipnir of steeds. Again, it's all telling you about connecting the three minds. Being in alignment, higher self, lower self, and then you, the middle self, your conscious self. And then Bifrost of bridges. You know, I've done a video about the river Iffinga over Doubt and Bifrost, the bridge. And then Bragi of bards, which means poetry of storytelling, which is talking about the sagas, how they're important to working with your unconscious mind in order for you to understand. So the way I'm telling you the sagas, they want you to understand them the way I'm talking about them, so you understand it's all about you. Every saga is about two things, nature and you are a part of nature. It's all about you going after the things you want in life and understanding how to do this through ritual, energy work of life energy, you know, keeping your minds in alignment, the vibration of your soul. And then I'll skip a little bit. Drunk are you, Geirrod, and out of your senses. Much have you lost when you fortified all Einherjar's and Odin's favour. Vainly was it spoken, for it avails you not. Friends fool and trick you. I see my friend's sword lying dripping with blood. Ygg gains the fallen, your life is elapsed. The protectors are angered. Here you see Odin. Approach if you can. Odin I am now. Ygg I was before. Thud I was before that. Valkar and Skilfing, Valfeld und Rofatir, opener, closer, all are one in me. So this is talking about using mind-altering substances. When you get drunk, you do drugs, anything that alters your consciousness. How it is actually, how you leak, that is how you drain every time you get drunk. Every time you smoke marijuana or some kind of a drug, anything that alters your mind, a power plant or whatever you want to call it, these things make you leak life energy. And then because you leak out your life energy, you're no longer in alignment. And also it is about avoiding your feelings. Most people do this to avoid their feelings. You know, I don't want to feel this, so I will go, you know, smoke a joint of weed, or I will go drink some alcohol and get drunk. You know, then you're out of alignment with yourself and you're losing all your life energy that you have. You're leaking it out. So that is what this is telling us, how, you know, you lose the favor of Odin, your highest awareness, your self-awareness. And then you lose the connection with your health, your three minds. And friends will trick you and fool you, right? And in this situation, because it was a long time ago, you know, this person actually ends up dead. You know, like, you know, blood is on his friend's sword lying dripping with blood, right? Because a long time ago, if a friend fucked you over, he's probably going to kill you. Today it's not so. much like that, but I guess sometimes it can become that way. And then it says, you know, Yig gains the fallen, and, you know, here you see Odin approach if you can. This is where the Grim Reaper mythology comes from. Grim Reaper. That is Woden wearing the hood, the hooded one. The Grim Reaper wears a hood and he takes the fallen, right? That's where the Grim Reaper mythology came from. Grimnismal, this specific point in Grimnismal, is where that mythology came from. Also, Grim Reaper rides a black horse. Woden rides a black horse. So, and then that's basically it. And then he ends up being dead, and yeah, that's, I don't know if, I hope they'll allow me to post such a long video. Before it would not, about a year ago, it said only 15 minutes. This one's longer. But yes, so that is Grimnismal, explained to you by a Grim in Sachsen. Tschüss.